G'day viewers, we're in a cross-country 220 thing and we're going to set it up and see if the brake bug was fixed by the patch that came to Steam or not, because I'm hearing varying reports. Alright, reverser, daylights we want, and safeties. DRA is already normal, so that's fine. Set those to normal. Vigilance and DSD, and reset that. Good-o. So we're not going to open the doors or anything, but let's just okay, that does appear to be releasing the brake. Good. Alright, let's deliberately trigger an emergency brake. Max brake and emergency. Let's see if that resets. Alright. I have reset the emergency brake. I've released it. So that should have reset. Let's see if it'll do it when I power. No. This looks like a new bug, doesn't it? Oh, my releasing my emergency stop didn't release that one. That's interesting. Okay, let's try and take power then. And that works. Alright, good. Let's go to here and see if we can trigger it with an AWS if we're really lucky. If we're lucky, that signal in front of us will stay yellow. I know I'm going too fast, but I want to catch the signal. Hopefully it's got a magnet. Should have. I'm going to ignore it. Just let it stop the train. Look, Ma, no hands. Hooray! And the train is stopping. So we should see a brake demand light on. It kind of looks like it's on, so I'll just acknowledge that. Alright, so once that stops, we get that back to off. We will have to wait. I think that light's on. A little bit hard to tell, but I think it is. So now we have to wait here for a pretty exciting minute. Good news is both door interlock lights are on, so that's a good sign. So, does it look any different on the outside since the patch? Since we're waiting anyway? Doesn't really look like it. Out of service. Ah, normal state for a cross-country train. Okay, it does appear to have... It has gone out, so let's see if we can power. And we can. Good stuff. The next one to try, so we'll just cruise along slowly because it's not far to the depot servicing platform. I want to wait and see if Vigilance will take us out. Actually, the other one's DSD. If I get up, this should stop the train. Yep, there it goes. So if I sit back in the chair, I should be able to handle off, and I should be able to power again, and brakes releasing. Lovely. Alright, so good so far. Last one to try is Vigilance, so we'll just crawl along at power level 1 and see how we go. Because sooner or later, Vigilance, the English version of CIFA, which says, "Oh, excuse me, sir, would you mind paying attention and acknowledging this?" rather than Sifa that just pokes your eye out because it's German. So I'm not touching any controls because I don't want to reset the countdown timer. So far, so good. All right, we'll have to acknowledge that because that's AWS. Well, since I reset the timer doing that, we might as well power off so we just coast the rest of the way. Keep us going nice and slow. Hopefully before we get to that red signal, vigilance will go off. Hopefully. Any second now. Going good. Yes, it is. Perfect. Fantastic. Come on, vigilance. Why are we waiting? Yep. I should look over here. Maybe it's over here. No, I can't see it over that side. Maybe it's over this side. It is? Right. Let's see if it should stop the train in a moment. Hopefully before we get that to that red signal. Well, there we go. It is stopping the train. Lovely. So we'll acknowledge that. And let's try powering again. And brakes releasing. Well, I would suggest that is all the circumstances that used to have an issue. So I guess we'll just finish this service because I'm now satisfied, at least through this small degree of testing, that the issue is resolved. There we go. Approach control has happened, and that signal up ahead of us, the feather has come on to say we're going into the yard. Just keep the speed down since we're going to crawl into the yard now. Aha. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Suspension seems to be working properly. It's good. What about outside? Is the suspension working well? Can't really tell, can you? We're not going over anything bumpy anymore. Maybe at the other end we might. Yeah, the other end hasn't gone over the points yet. Let's see what this end does. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. I think that worked quite well. So that seems to be addressed too. Good stuff. Alright, let's get some power back on. Almost 2 degrees of down bubble going into a yard. That's quite amazing. At the Lyra servicing platform. Do. Keep forgetting I made the Sim Workshop thing backwards. So I power when I want to brake and brake when I want to power. Must reverse that. That'd be a good plan, I think. Vigilance again! We waited all that time for it. Now it's happened twice. Yay! That's okay. We have got the shunt. Prepare to shunt. As for the YouTube nannies, I did say shunt. It will, of course, be a cunning shunt as we roll into the servicing depot in a massive 600 yards away. You know, interestingly, we only ever look at the suspension on the leading cars. Why don't we just wander down here and look at the suspension on the non-leading cars as they go over this? Bump, bump. Bump, bump. Bump, bump. Bump, bump. Bump, bump. That seems to work okay. We'll go back into the cab for a bit. I might release this as a members-only treat. You can have the joyous moment of watching me try and kill an XC220. And fail. More bumpies. Of course, if you want to emulate the suspension properly when it goes bump bump, you have to bounce in the seat. See, it just makes sense, doesn't it? Not really. This is where the cleaners and other miscellaneous personnel hop aboard and sort out whatever needs to be sorted. Remove the drunks and the various passengers from Train Sim World that don't get off. Ah, tree through the cab. Alright, Max break. G'day, Max.
This is a cross-country.
What a time to cut the announcement off. Promise I didn't do that. Anyway, that's fine. Alrighty. Well, members, I hope you enjoy this little video. I wanted to see if the brakes were working, and I wanted to test my recording since I've had to change a few parameters since the Windows update. Seems to be okay. So, yeah, we'll see what it looks like on YouTube. Alrighty. Enjoy yourselves. Have fun, folks, and see you later. And remember, this is a cross...
We played a game.